What's going on YouTube? Andrew here from Do Something Everyday 2. Haven't had an episode in a while. That's because we've been spending so much time on our other channel, $1,000 Car Guy. If you want to see what project I'm currently working on, I suggest you head over there. Today's episode is going to be about this. We are going to be replacing the passenger side headlight with this brand new unit from Walmart. I picked this one up for about $11, that's after tax. And essentially we need to turn the passenger side wheel inwards so that we can get to a bunch of these screws and stuff so we can take off this inner fender liner. Unfortunately, there is no way to reach the headlight from above, but that's okay. That's why we brought tools. First thing you're going to want to do is start the car up to make sure that the wheel isn't in the locked position and turn it all the way to the left. So as we can see with this 2008 Saturn Outlook, the driver's side headlight works, but the passenger side does not. So we have to get to here. Now you can see it from above. Well, you can sort of see it. Unfortunately, there's no way to access it there, and that's not the proper way to take out the headlight. So you need to turn the wheel all the way to the side so that you can get to the screws for the inner fender liner. Next, you have to remove that. We don't need to take all the plastic clips and the hardware out. You just need enough room to be able to pry open this flap. So what you're going to find next are some of these little black plastic tabs. You slide a flathead screwdriver into the side and pry upwards, and you should be able to pop them out. The first thing that comes out is this little pin piece, and then the receiver. The receiver slides back into the hole, push it all the way in, and then push this all the way in and it locks it in place. If you do end up breaking either of these pieces, it's okay. You'll find that almost every place, including say Walmart, AutoZone, they'll have them in stock, so you just put new ones in. In order to pry that section open, I removed 4 screws in total and 3 of those little push pins. You shouldn't need to take any more than that out. Now what you need to do next, slide your hand in between the plastic fender liner and the fender until you can reach the back of the headlight assembly. You should be able to barely grasp the outside casing of it. What you need to do is turn in an anti-clockwise rotation, and this cover is now going to pop off. It looks rather large when it's outside of the car. You're basically going to be repeating those same steps to get the bulb from inside of this assembly. So you need to turn the whole inside assembly, I believe counterclockwise. It doesn't really matter, clockwise or counterclockwise, until it comes loose. Do not lose this little rubber O-ring. You will need that for reinstallation purposes, so just set that by the cap. The manufacturer gives you basically enough wire to be able to pull the bulb assembly down past the inner fender liner. See? There it is, just hanging out for us. Next, remove the clip that contains the wires from the bulb assembly. The first thing that comes off is this gray retainer clip. You just need to pry open the pieces that I'm squeezing right now, and that comes right off. And then, you'll notice these 2 little indents on either side. Actually, they're not indents, they're exdents. These little tabs, the 2 tabs on either side. You need to pry the black connector from either side off of there, and then slide it backwards. It'll come right out. Do yourself a favor before opening up the new bulb. Compare it to the old one. Make sure that the prongs look the same. Make sure that the little tabbies look the same, and the connectors. It's harder to return new bulbs when they're out of the package. Next thing we need to do is pop this new bulb back in the same spot that the old one was in. Get it wired up, put the extra clip on top of it, and then lock it into place inside the headlight housing. There's our new bulb locked in place with that extra gray clip. But before we do our final assembly, I like to turn the headlights on and see if our bulb is actually lit up. And boy is it. There's nothing worse than putting everything back together only to find out that you did something wrong. That's why we do that little check. Here's a little tip for you. You see how this blade at the top is larger? There is one larger slot for the bulb to slide into. Make sure it's in the right orientation, otherwise you will never get it locked back in place. Next up, take your O-ring and slide it into the groove from the back of the cover. Yeah. Just like that. Go ahead and slide it back on the back side of the housing and give it a right twist turn, so clockwise, I don't know, maybe go to number 2 or 3. It's really about an 1/8 of a turn. Next up, put all your screws and push pins back where you found them. With your screws back in, it's time to test your handiwork. Did it work? Thank you very much for watching this episode of Do Something Everyday 2. I hope that this video was informative and helped you out. If it did, please hit the like button and maybe the subscribe if you feel like it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next episode.